welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to share with you guys why I continue to homeschool. If you'd like to hear more, then let's get started. Get a little sip of that. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where I talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And like I mentioned in the introduction, I actually did a video of this when I first started on this channel of why I homeschooled, and I shared a little bit of a background as to how we even arrived to this idea that homeschool would be a part of our lives. And just to give you a very quick snapshot of that, it's just 2 years ago, I literally had our family just moved from a different state. We were thinking this state has better public schools, and so we were going to put our children in public school and we were going to try it out. And I just remember walking through the front doors of the school. It was like the weekend before the first week of school was starting, and it was an overwhelming feeling of just, this is not the place for my child. This is not going to be a good fit. And without even having to leave the parking lot and go home and think about it, I literally had a conversation with my husband in the school parking lot after I just met the teachers, just dropped off all of our supplies for the year. And I just remember saying, this is not it. And my husband being like, she's not going here, is she? No. And after that, the rest is history. We decided on homeschool, and we are continuing with homeschool, which I am so thankful and so grateful for. And to share with you, like, I would think this reason is pretty much the most common one, maybe for moms would say, and it's been really potent for me as of late, is recognizing that like my children will only be children for so long, and like this time is fleeting. I mean, look at this month. We went from January, which was like forever, to we're in May. We're already almost halfway through the year, and it's crazy. You know, it's just time has gone so quickly. And so I want to be able to have as much time with my children as I possibly can, and especially in these formative years, in this pivotal time when they're growing, they are continuing to be molded and shaped into full human beings. And to know that I get to be a part of that journey and really see it from the beginning is really important to me, and why we continue to homeschool. Another reason is also, and a main one I think, is just really the fact that my children are given the opportunity to see education in a full capacity way. It's very their learning is expansive. They wouldn't be as expansive if they're in a classroom in 4 walls with a bell system that tells them when and how long they are supposed to stick to a certain subject, a certain class, all these things. I feel like it's very binding and it's very restrictive, if you will. Whereas if continuing with homeschool gives me an opportunity to see my children in a front seat and way, sitting side by side with them and navigating all of the many facets it is as a learner and as a growing human being in this world. Take another sip. And so that's huge to me. It's huge that also that my children are given the opportunity to really develop their character of who they are, what do they stand for, what are they about, when they how do they present themselves to the world and present themselves to themselves, honestly. And so to be able to have that is also another reason to continue to homeschool for us, is I'm being able to see how they truly are shaping, and also giving them this full safe space to go through all their emotions and be reactionary, be inquisitive, and all these things that they wouldn't be able to be given at that capacity, at the capacity that they have being in homeschool if they were in a public school setting or a private school setting. There's rules, there's regulations, there's all these things. And there's rules and regulations here, but there's also, I always try to look at it like we're like clay, we're moldable. We can move, we can shape. You add a little bit more water, it loosens up a little bit, then it gets a little hard, you know, like that's how I see it metaphorically, is like we are like clay when it comes to homeschool. There's so much flow and fluidity, and it's not just like, here you go, hand it to you in a book and you're ready to go. And that's huge to me. That's huge to my family. That's huge to my kids, watching them be given such an opportunity. It also, as I say that it's such an opportunity, it's such a privilege, it also comes with sacrifice. And I think though there's so much good that comes from the sacrifice that it's worth it. And what I mean by that is, like, we are still a single like one family member income home. And that means that, even though we would think things would maybe be more grander or more comfortable if we were on a 2-budget family income home, I still like, we have all, I used to say this a lot in the beginning of my channel of like, all you have is all you need. And with homeschool, it has really reined that in for me. And it's broken some generational curses of thinking that we need more, we need to be able to live a certain way because that's how society says that we should live, or that's just how that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to work multiple jobs. We're supposed to not sleep and live to work and work to live. And our children are becoming just a byproduct, and then they end up continuing that same behavior, and it just strips us from this this love and humanity that I feel that the Lord created us to be. Like, He created us to be the overseers of our children, not the world to be the overseers for our children, right? And so that for me is so key as to why we homeschool, why we continue to homeschool, and really just really owning this role as a parent, and walking through the journey of parenthood. And homeschool tests you in that. For real. It tests you in your ability of what does it look like to really be a full-time parent? What does it look like to be full-time in patience and understanding and grace? What does it look like when there's parts of you that maybe you thought you didn't have, and you having to work through that? Like, there's so much psychological as well as sociological benefits to homeschooling your children. And I'm not a professional, but I think I'm a professional by just living through it. Not a professional in the sense that I have any accolades to say that I am qualified, but I feel that the Lord used my unqualifications to be qualified to really grow and to be the teacher for my children. And so, man, I am so honored that I get the privilege to do it. And even through the sacrifices and through maybe you having to place some of your dreams or aspirations or desires to the side, to be able to see my children to live in their desires and their dreams and aspirations fuels that a bit. Being able to see them question everything and think of everything, to us even getting an opportunity to say, well, we're going to learn a language this time, or we're going to look at math and we're going to flip it in all the different axes that we can until we find what we're looking for. That, and that is just so, that's just huge, right? That's huge. Like, I didn't have that. And I think, we have this thing that I always feel like I hear it generation after generation of like, I want to give my kids what I never had. Well, I want to give my kids an opportunity to be their full selves and to grow into their full selves at the pace that they need to grow in, that I never had. And so that is why I homeschool, guys. It's short and sweet, but such truth and so deep. And it's not always that way. I think there are moments when I'm just like, if you could just listen, excuse me, as I cough and laugh at the same time, or if we could just slow down the emotions, or if I could just get a little bit more sleep today, there's moments. I'm human, but all the things I just listed as to why we continue to homeschool, they outweigh all of my bad days. And so if you're thinking about homeschooling and you are like, this sounds beautiful, but I have no clue what I'm doing, or this brings me back to what my why was for why I was doing it, I hope that you just write those things down. I encourage you that, like, you have a why as to why you homeschool. Write it down and place it somewhere that you can be reminded of it. Also place it somewhere, like if you need to write it a couple of times, place it somewhere where it's somewhere that you look, but you look occasionally, but you know that you do that occasionally, put it there. Or if it's in your wallet, if it's a note in your wallet that's synced in between your credit cards, I don't know, anything that you need it to be. Or sometimes right when you need to hear it, you'll see it and you'll read it and you'll receive it. So that is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a warm thumbs up if you did. Hit that red subscribe button if you haven't already. We'd love to have you a part of the family. And until next time, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.